Welcome back my soul brother and sister to another video of Stevie the Authentic Light Worker. In this video I'm gonna share with you guys my experience during and after transitions to being a vegetarian, the spiritual significance behind it, and some basic steps that we can make to assist us with the transitions. Okay, I'm gonna share with you guys a background story to enable you guys better understand the whole context for my diet transitions from last year, July 2019. That was when I start noticing a lot of synchronicity, that is the repeating numbers like 11 11, 10 10, 2 2 2, 23 23, 2020. They keep appearing everywhere. Basically everywhere I went. Deep down to my core, I could feel that something exciting and divine was going to happen, but I just couldn't put it into words, and I did not have anybody to share them with. And I just started losing my appetite for heavy red meats like pork and beef. I remember while I was doing the grocery, I started having the tendency to avoid the meat sections and more inclined to stay in the fruits and vegetable sections. And I remember I just prefer cooking clean proteins and comfort soupy dishes like the Japanese matcha udon in the miso base with organic tofu, enoki mushroom, bok choy, seaweed and fish bowl, and so on. And obviously that was yum and clean and very light and free from any red meat, right? Now sitting here and reflecting, I felt that was clearly the beginning of my transitions because I was losing appetite for beef and pork altogether and not knowing why. Back then I had very limited knowledge in dieting. Well, even now I still have very limited knowledge on that. So I was thinking, okay, I might need some basic proteins as well, so I decided to eat organic vegetable and organic chicken because for the proteins, right? Yeah, and because organic chicken is supposed to be free from all the growth hormones and antibiotics that make the bacteria and the viruses which become more resistant to the drugs over the years. And us humans, what happens when we start ingesting all of these meat into our body? I can't imagine that. I feel that is why over the years we start seeing more of the mad cow diseases, swine flu, bird flus. Over the years they have become mutated, came up with a bunch of different names: H1N1, N2, N3, and N5, you name it. Anyway, back to my story. During the 8 to 9 months of 2020 this year, I feel the change in my appetite become more obvious as my spiritual awakening just became intensified and accelerated. I could not remember exactly when and what day I stopped buying organic chicken, but that was to mark the first day that I became a vegetarian officially. I couldn't remember when, but anyway, so I adopted vegetarian diets. I just started buying organic vegetable like carrots, green beans, kales, seasoned tofu, and plant-based meat made from chickpeas or yellow peas. And during that time, I became a foster parent to a cat, and I feel like I developed even stronger compassion for all animals, whether it's domestic or not. And I could feel as if my heart chakra they were open and flowing healthily, and I could feel the love for all living beings, and that sensation's just getting stronger than ever. I just not imagine myself continuing a diet that means killing or sacrificing some form of life. I feel it will definitely feed me with so much guilt and make me disconnected from my true loving nature, and I just simply could not allow that. Now that it has been 2 or 3 months now since I've become a vegetarian, much lighter and spiritual, I am better able to connect to that divine source of energy during my meditations, and I feel there is just much less negativity in my life. I can clearly the effects on my physical body, on my hair, and my skin as well. Because I used to have bumps of like ingrowth and acne on my arms, but now they are completely gone, and I feel like a new person reborn. Yeah. And now that my meals have become even more cleaner and lighter over the past 2 or 3 months. Now 90% of the time my breakfast is just smoothie of organic soya milk with all the different types of berries, and voila, I'm set for 2 or 3 hours until my lunch. In my family, my mom's diet is even lighter. It's probably 60% liquid base for her, even though she's just in her early 60s. Yeah. And now I would like to share with you guys the spiritual significance in the change in our diet. As I continue to read up more about the spiritual work by this author called Dolores Cannon, I came to learn a lot more about the massive spiritual awakening on Earth, and how Earth is preparing herself to shift into the higher vibrations, and that is triggering a lot of people to shifting their diet into the plant-based to enable the human bodies adapting into the higher frequency, higher vibrations, because the ultimate goal for us humans is to switch from meat to live food, that is fruits and vegetable, and then vegan, and then finally is for us human to be one day to be alike the ET beings, because these beings they just need to absorb the light energies for sustenance instead of drinking and eating like us. I personally feel that once we are able to reach that point, we are probably can manifest in any form, and we might not need a physical body anymore. And when thinking about it, maybe that is why I start seeing more of my vegan friends. They start even fasting at least once a week, and their diet is super light. Some of my colleagues at work, they would just have raw carrots and blueberries for lunch. Yeah, it is that light and simple. And maybe that is why for me I have become another vegetarian, to sit here and to encourage to you guys to start making some baby changes. Also, from the readings, I have learned that all the chemicals that fed into the chicken, the pigs, and the cows, when humans consume their meat, these chemicals will stay in our body for at least 6 to 8 months. And that just make me wonder why we would like to put our organs, our body under so much stress and put it under so much work. And don't we love our body, and don't we love ourselves enough to feed us with the best food and the cleanest food that we can? Well, for some of us who are not so aware of this of the spiritual topic on reincarnations into the physical body, I know this is a difficult topic, and it's difficult for many people to accept and believe. I understand, but I just want to mention briefly for everyone, okay? We understand that being in these healthy human forms, whether with or without disability, it is a huge honor. And we need to take care of this body and honor it. Do you guys know that before we are able to take this human form, some of us might have already been in many other living forms, from like an animal, a mammal, a bird, an insect, a parasite, a worm, macroorganisms, or even a rock, or the tiny living beings floating in the oceans. Yeah, that's that's how it came about through Dolores Cannon work. Well, if you guys have not gone through your spiritual awakening, I understand that how mundane and boring this eating healthy, eating clean might sound to some of you guys, because everyone has their own timing, everyone has their own experiences. I would not force my ideology, my belief onto your belief system, because it just wouldn't work. When it's your time, it is your time. But hey, since you guys are watching this video, maybe it's about time for you guys to start making some baby steps, which I am about to mention. Because the past few months I have come up with new eating habits, and I have switched to the better alternatives that are a lot healthier for myself and everyone, of course. Well, I just want to say that if you're able to afford for a MacBook or iPad or iPhone, maybe some of these ingredients wouldn't be too much or too demanding, because this is for us, right? If you cannot even love yourself enough by eating carefully, how on earth are you gonna love anybody else, right? I see some of my friends and my family members, they rather spend more time on doing their hair and their nails instead of making the best food for themselves. Well, maybe this video is for them too. Okay, I have come up with a few alternatives and habits that I want to share with you guys. Number one, okay, now every day I would have like at least 2 or 3 types of berries, blueberries, blackberries, and strawberries, or sometimes the other types of berry I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, I usually have them at least 2 or 3 types of berries a day. And of course, wash and rinse carefully. I would sometimes even have them with soya milk as a smoothie. Soya milk, which brings me to number 2. Now I only drink organic, safe soya milk for the proteins, of course, and I would use them to make smoothie with the berries, as I mentioned. I even top it up with this Manuka honey fermented bio, with lots of good bacteria for your digestive system, and I'm sure you guys can see it. Yes, and this is real good. And I even top it up with the matcha powder. They are packed with lots of antioxidants. You can buy from Chemist Warehouse. It's cheap. Yeah, and of course I even try to drink lots of water every day, even though I'm quite bad at this, but I'm trying. Or sometimes even coconut water. Full of electrolytes, guys. Half price. Oh my god. And of course, we often, in order to explain the significance of water in our body, I would like to use this analogy to explain to you guys, okay? We often call our cells, right, the tiny sparks of light. With others, we call all of us as part of God, the creator, the collective. It goes by the same analogies for all the cells in our body, because they are all connected. And to better enable our cells to function, to smooth out their operations in our body, water is a critical medium for movement and exchange of substances. We learned that in biology, and I feel that only when we drink water enough, our body will be more balanced energetically and spiritually. At least 2 liters a day, okay? Remember that. Speaking of water, which is so essential for the living beings on earth, and we are actually running out of drinkable water, what I often do to reduce and reuse and recycle, reduce and reduce water is to all those water that I used to rinse and wash my fruits and vegetables, I will make sure I will put them aside in a big jug, and I will use them to water my plants the following day, so nothing goes into waste. Yeah. For number 4, for my main diets, I usually have my organic carrots and green beans and kales, and of course tofu seasoned, and my plant-based chicken made from chickpeas and yellow peas, all organic and vegetarian friendly. I would normally rinse them, finely chop them, steam to stir fry with oyster sauce, vegetarian chicken stock powder, and soy sauce, and voila. And I usually serve them with brown rice, which brings me to number 5, because I have switched from white rice to brown rice. Why? White rice is basically just full of calories and basically no trace of nutrients. Brown rice, on the other hand, is packed with fiber that helps to lower cholesterol and removes the toxic waste along your digestive tracts. It helps with the bowel movements as well, and of course, it has folic acid that helps to promote the healthy cell regenerations and iron to carry oxygen. How good is that, right? So yes, eat brown rice, okay? For cooking oil, after learning from so many other YouTubers, I decided to follow their advice. I switched from really cheap normal cooking oil like I normally use back in the old day to save money, but I ditched all of that. I changed to coconut oil and now hemp seed oils, because you guys know why? They are packed with organic with omega-3 and 6 and 9 fatty acids. It's good for supporting our brain and heart functioning, controlling inflammations, while the vitamin E is just so good for your hair and your skin as well. It helps with the moisture, and of course it's packed with antioxidants. It's packed with anti-aging properties. That's why look at me, guys. And of course the chlorophyll, which gives it its green color, it has really good with the body detox. So yeah, give it a try, okay? Hemp seed oils. Well, all of these may cost maybe 4 times more, but it is for your body, so I think it's totally worth it. But whether you want it to try or not, I leave it up to you, okay? Now that I have been eating rather healthily and maybe just French pastry every now and then, oops, but I think that's okay because I still exercising, and hey, I don't eat red meat anymore, okay, and none of the inorganic fruits and stuff, yeah, toxins in my body, no more. Some of my friends ask me, Steve, do you crave for meat? I would say no, because I really do not crave for meat anymore. Well, the idea of having cooked animals and on my plate just put me off completely. I imagine how it would feel so disconnected from my true loving nature if I continue that same old diet, which is so dense and heavy. And every now and then, it just really saddens me when I see some of us who are willing to put in the extra hours to earn the extra dollars that we keep chasing, and sometimes we just neglect our health and our body. One of the reasons that motivated me to make this video was that while planning for similar ideas, one of my cousins was really ill. She had to be hospitalized, and the doctor just couldn't diagnose correctly. I feel that only when we are put under such circumstances, only then we would stop taking our health for granted and start listening to the message in our body, right? So I just do not want you guys or any of you guys to be in that situations, in that positions, okay? And I feel that I have been talking too much for this video. So I would like to give you guys a short message for today's video. I just wish you guys, all of you guys, a lot of consciousness so that you guys can be released from the illusions of this world. And for those who are still chasing the materials and who are still asleep spiritually, I do not wish to see anybody suffering for failing the lessons of self-love. I implore you to stop chasing, having a little pause and think for yourself and what it means to be happy and to be at peace for yourself. Is it when you're having more money and not knowing how to spend them, or when you're having healthy physical and mental health and having enough to support ourselves and having the means to inspire others, to help others to be like us, to be living in peace, love, harmony, and gratitude? Which one? I leave these questions for you guys to answer. Leave it down in your comments, okay? And don't forget to subscribe to all the good stuff. And okay, with that, I would like to sum up this video before I talk too much and this video becomes too long. I will see you guys in the next video, and until then, au revoir. Take care. Bye bye.